Hey guys, it's Luke. So I said I'd reserve these little chat videos to the other channel. If you haven't checked it out, click the link in the description below. There's already a couple of vids there. In a previous video, I alluded to the possibility of working the Disney Cultural Exchange Program. In this video, I wanted to go into a little more detail about that, but more after the thing. Ooh, fancy new title for these videos. Yes. So as the title of this video shows, I've applied for the Disney Cultural Exchange Program. Now, the Disney Cultural Exchange Program is a working program available to those who are 18 and currently studying and will return or have just completed their studies in an accredited or approved tertiary institution. And it's also only open to countries that are eligible for the J1 visa. Throughout the program, you'll be working at Walt Disney World Resort or its associated supporting offices. Anything from attractions to merchandise, housekeeping or lifeguarding, parking or holiday planning, along with many other exciting options and, let's be honest, some not so exciting options. For me, my absolute dream is to be ride attendant on the new upcoming Tron Light Cycle Run attraction opening in the Magic Kingdom next March, fingers crossed. But really, any attraction in Tomorrowland would be incredible. Spaceship Earth, Tower of Terror or Haunted Mansion all come in as second preferences in attractions. But with my extensive retail and managerial history, I wouldn't mind working merchandise at World of Disney and Disney Springs or some other great retail location throughout the resort. So there are plenty of roles that will support plenty of people's preferences. How's that for plosives? Now, I haven't done it before, but I am a bit of a Disney nut and have done at least one of everything that Disney in the US has to offer. And mentioned on the second channel, if you haven't yet, I suggest you check it out. It's a 13-year-old me's dream to work there. By no stretch of the imagination do I think it'll be a holiday. I've heard stories of people working up to 60 hours a week in some roles, and being America, the wages aren't too crash hot either. The starting wage is $14 an hour. But that sounds great. Disney accepts you in the program, and they pay you. Surely that is amazing, right? That's the Russian for you, Ben. Well, yes and no. Nothing in Disney comes for free. And especially the way the Australian dollar is at the moment, it's not a cheap program to enter, especially if you live in Adelaide or Darwin. Not only the distance, but once you are there, accommodation for the program starts at $185 a week for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom share room, right up to $225 US for your own room and bathroom in a shared apartment. And all apartments contain up to 4 people. But we won't calculate that into our costs right now, as those are future costs. But let it be known, if you don't earn enough from your program and can't afford to pay the rent, you're gonna have a bad time. I'll cover the accommodations with more detail in a future video. But in this video, let's look at the process of applying for the cultural exchange and the costs associated with the program even before I leave Australia. Starting off, as I'm in Adelaide, we'll base the process and the prices there. For those watching and don't know where Adelaide is, it's right here in the bottom middle part of Australia. So the first, and I wouldn't necessarily call it the easiest part in the process, is the application. Go to the Disney Careers website and find the position. For those watching at home, I've included the link, yes, in the description below. From there, you're asked to submit a resume and a cover letter, which for me, the cover letter was freaking hard. I didn't want to sound like I knew what I was in for, nor did I want to sound like too much of a Disney freak, but it was really important to me at the time that I got a look in. So I was bugging all my friends to read my cover and give me tips and pointers and so on. So in the end, I sent a letter overviewing my work experience, my love and experiences of the Disney company, and outlined a little of my hopes for the program and how it would benefit them having me as part of the program, and vice versa. And it's really no secret that I'm older than most of the applicants.
Old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be.
So that could be to my advantage or disadvantage. But a long 2-and-a-bit-month wait, I finally got a response.
You got a message? Yeah. And I can open it, could be important.
I'd been accepted for an interview. And yes, it would be a little bit awkward doing this video if I hadn't, I realized that. Now here though is where all the costs start piling up. I live in Adelaide. The nearest location for an interview is in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
So I'm presented here with 3 options: walk, drive, or fly. As walking would probably take a little too long, that was out. Riding a bike, not much better. Driving, I could drive, but the interview is in the middle of the final term of uni, so that's out too. And gosh, have you seen the cost of petrol? So flying it is. So for the flights on average, we're looking at $300 return. Let's add that to our tally. Thankfully for me though, I'm a frequent flyer member and I live for the points collecting. So for me, it cost $80 in taxes and $16,000 in frequent flyer points. As the interviews start at 9 AM, you want to be fresh and alert. So for me, flying a red-eye is out. I am not a morning person in general. And as I'm in Melbourne,
Not Melbourne, because it's pronounced Melbourne.
I'll want to make the most out of it. So here in this video, I'll leave all the luxuries out, but we'll include the basics in accommodation and transport to and from the airport. For transport from the airport, you can get an Uber or other rideshare from Tullamarine. However, as the interview will be near Southern Cross Station, we'll be able to use the SkyBus with little to no fuss. A return ticket will set you back $32. So that's a pretty decent cost there. Now for accommodation. Each of the day's interviews, depending on which interview day you have, aren't in the same spot. Some are in RMIT, smack bang in the middle of the CBD. Some are out in the burbs in Footscray. Mine is in the city, but closer to the station, which again makes it handier for transport. So looking for accommodation in the CBD, you have a couple of options: Airbnb, hotel, or backpackers. And for those lucky enough, friends and family is also a good option too. Backpackers is probably the cheapest of the choices, but I went for a nice quaint hotel. The cheapest in the area at $230 for 2 nights. 1 night before the interview and 1 night after. Great thing about staying in the CBD is that the trams are free. So if you want to go out and explore, there's little to no cost. And there are also quite a few experiences to be had throughout the city, which are free also. So let's come with me now into a dream world. I've had the interview and I've been accepted to the program. Here's where more of your dollars will go in Australian as of last week's rates, if you continue. So straight off the bat, if you accept the offer of acceptance, you'll need to pay 2 fees: a participation fee and a housing fee. The participation fee is $353 and the housing fee is around $221. Next, you'll need to get a federal police clearance, which is currently $42. Now, another difficult and expensive part of the application process is to go to the nearest US consulate for a visa interview. There aren't any in Adelaide, so off to Melbourne I go again. Further in October, the flights are a bit cheaper at $180 return. But again for me, $80 taxes, 16,000 frequent flyer points. And as the consulate is down St Kilda way, a little more travel expenses are needed here. So SkyBus, yes, $32. Accommodation, 2 nights for about $200 near the end of October is on the cheap side for a hotel in the CBD. But now we'll need either a rideshare or public transport out to St Kilda. As I'm going for the cheapest options in transport here, public it is. Now, a trip from the CBD to St Kilda is usually about $5 dues, and that's for a single trip. There is an option for visitors to pay $16 and have a whole day of transport on the entire system. And that's probably what I'll go with here, just in case I want to do some exploring while I'm down that way. Now, the visa isn't free. It costs folks like you and me, and that is currently $235. Let's tally those up, and we get $1,841. And we haven't even left the country yet. It ain't freaking cheap. And that's also what I think makes this program special, as it's basically only open to those who really, really want to do it, already culling off those who are just seeing it as another way to do a cheap and easy Disney holiday. So that's where I'll leave all the money talk for today. I think after the information session and interview in October, I'll have a much clearer idea as to whether it's a dream worth pursuing, as I've also applied for other jobs that suit my goals and ambitions and keep the momentum I've gained from uni continuing. But working for Disney and living in the USA for a year is quite an experience, and one that I would love to have. For now, If you'd like to follow along with this journey, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that Taco Bell logo as to stay up to date, and smash that thumbs up. It lets me know you guys are watching and you guys care. Until next time, you guys, stay wonderful. Bye.